What's up, everybody? Today is Real Advice Real Estate episode number 7, and I'm super excited because we have a guest all the way from Iceland that is going to be talking to us about not only the differences in the US versus the Iceland market, but also we're going to dive into her strategies on how to book over 150 appointments in one single month and how she's consistently booking 50, 60, 70 appointments a month. This is episode number 7. How to book 150 appointments per month. So let me bring in our guest now. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, really good to be there.
It's good to have you on. I've told everybody that we're going to be talking about how you book over 150 appointments and differences in the Iceland market. But before we begin, can you just tell us your name? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Ásdís Ósk Valsdóttir, and I have this funny game. If you can pronounce my name correctly, you get a free beer.
Oh.
In 49 years, I never given out one beer, so it's like a challenge.
So they have to say that prior to you telling them how to say it. Is that correct?
Well, no, I'll do it once.
Oh.
So I'm really good. So I'm a real estate agent from Iceland, been in the business for almost 16 years, single mom of 3. So it's a busy life, you know.
Awesome. And as far as being a single mom, living in Iceland, is there a specific part of Iceland that you're focusing on?
Well, yeah, I live in Reykjavik, so it's a capital area. It's about market of 150, 200,000 people.
Got it. And today we're talking about how to schedule over 150 appointments, which definitely cannot be an easy feat. Before we go into that, can you just give us a little background about the current units that you're doing thus far?
Well, this year I've sold 50 units, which is double-ended in Iceland. So that's like, what, 100 transactions in the US?
It's a lot.
It is?
Yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, that's definitely a lot for us. What about last year? Do you know what your numbers are last year?
Yeah, last year was 69. So, but I joined real estate 2003, actually June 16th, 2003. And the first whole year, 2004, I did 52 sales.
Your first year?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I basically I gave everyone a really good service. So what I did, I track everything and I log everything. And I don't have a big CRM. I just basically use Outlook still. I'm working on moving into, but it's worked for me. And so I basically, if you come to an open house and you have not sold, you are a potential seller. So I just put you in. And then I basically, the longest client I had, we met in a showing in one of my houses in August 2009. The reason I have this really good memory is because we both just had a baby. So I had a baby in February 2009, and he had a few months later. So we were discussing the babies and everything. So that was August 2009. He sold his house and bought another with me in November 2016.
Nice.
So and I sent him one email a year, basically.
What did that email say?
It was basically, so, hi, what's up? Have you found the right house? Are you still looking? Is there anything I can do for you? And 6 months ago, I upgraded those emails into Bom Bom, which is giving massive results.
Got it. So for those of you that are watching this, if you don't know, Bom Bom is a video platform for you to send video messages, not only behind your computer, but also on the go. And I will say that they also just introduced a new feature that just got released about a week ago, and it's called the Bom Bom Inbox. And I don't want to talk too much about that. Essentially, it's an app where rather than just having your regular mail app on your phone, you can use the Bom Bom Inbox. It'll still use the mail the same way, but instantly you can start replying and talking with people via video. So it's definitely awesome. So aside from Bom Bom, you said that you're using Outlook as your CRM.
I know. And Jason Pantonum is my coach. He's not happy about it, but it's work in progress, you know? It's just,
well,
it's worked for me.
It's definitely a old school type thing, but I'm definitely a firm believer if it's working, then, don't make drastic changes. Definitely you can make something that's gradual into something that's better, or that's going to, alleviate some stress or time or whatnot. But I wouldn't say dump it that quick if it's giving you 100 deals a year.
Yeah, I know. The thing is that I have some university degrees. One of them is computer science. So I'm like tech savvy, but I'm like, I just want this phone to work for like 10 years. I hate changing phone. I hate changing systems. So I was like, and I mean, I'm old school. I'm 50 in 3 months. So I need things to be like, I just want it to be like working.
Got it. So I just wanted to say hi to the people that are watching. We have Tony, Jim, Grail, Tina, Louise. We have our good friend Jason.
Hi, Jason.
And so maybe we have to backtrack on our Outlook talk. No, but for anybody that's popping on and you're live with us, if you have any specific questions, or if you want to just say anything, definitely leave a comment, and we'll definitely answer your questions. We're going to go into our next question, which is now based off of just the appointment setting, as far as, scheduling either, 150 appointments, or I believe you said that you've done, was it 68 or 69 thus far?
65 in October. Yeah.
Is there some type of system that you're using to schedule these appointments outside of Outlook and outside of Bom Bom?
No, basically not. It's a lot of manual work. So I'm gradually doing it more like without my labor. So I'm trying to automate it. It takes time.
Got it. So is there a specific, let's say maybe a routine or something that you do, maybe, I definitely know that you get up early, but as far as, hey, I have to, call X amount of people, or I have to book X amount of days.
Yeah, I do that. So
like for you?
For me, like 2 hours a day per hour power. Sometimes I have for like 4 appointments, then obviously I can't. But so I have in my exercises, like I want to make 2 appointments a day. I want to call like 15, 20 people. But when I discovered Bom Bom, it's less. I can like send 50 people the same message. So it's saving a lot of time. So that's pretty good.
And the is there the system that you're using? Is that just your cell phone? You're just calling contacts in your cell phone?
Basically, yeah. Or in my Outlook, actually.
Got it.
I have like 6,000 contacts in my Outlook.
Where did you get all those contacts? 6,000 for some.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's a lot of contacts.
Yeah, 15 years of collecting. So, out of every deal, you get 3 to 4 clients. So if you do like 60, 70 deals a year, that's a lot of clients. So some of them are past clients. I have to admit, I could do way better with them, but I was like, you can't call 300 people 3-4 times a day or a month, years. There's too much, and you can't like I know I love these like client parties, and I was like, I can't have a party for 400 people. It's like I can't fit them in. Besides, you have both sides, and sometimes
maybe you can. You just have to get a bigger venue.
That is true. I have to think bigger,
So one of the things you said is, I'm scheduling a lot of appointments, but it wasn't always like that. My database was not always 6,000 people. And for somebody that's new, definitely they're not going to walk into a database with 6,000 people. What would you say is behind your success in growing the database? And then the second part of that would be, you said you're dialing for 2 hours. Is there something specific either that you're saying, or what would you say your success, or what's behind your success in actually booking that appointment?
The thing is that you have to have your client's best interest at heart. So if you're like calling, I would really like to sell your house, Jason, like Jason. Or you just say, hi, it's Ásdís, just wondering how you're doing. Have you seen any houses you're looking at? And often I say, well, I saw this house. It's not listed with me, but I think it'd be perfect for you. And that's how I got through the crisis in 2009, because if you'd well, you're too young, I didn't remember 2008, but Iceland basically went bankrupt. So we had 3 banks in Iceland, they were all bankrupt. So they basically cut off our credit cards, people were abroad, and they had no money. Like October 6th, 2008, the Prime Minister of Iceland went to national TV, said, all the banks are bankrupt, God bless Iceland. We have no idea what's going on.
Wow.
So, and I was pregnant, I had a baby in February. So I worked at home. You're going to love this number. So I worked at home. I had the baby, I was breastfeeding, and I was styling. So that year I did 44 deals,
nice.
Which is times 2. So I basically say if you have a depressed new mom working at home and she does 44 deals times 2, what's your excuse?
Can you say that again? Because there may be somebody that watches this that has a weaker excuse than that, and they're still going to make the excuse.
Yeah, exactly. So I closed the deal 12 hours after I gave birth. So I was basically at the hospital when I closed the deal. Because, I mean, you have this crisis. You're basically, everyone you know is technically bankrupt. The loans were off the roof. You had no idea when the next deal was. So I was like, I had this client, I've been trying to close him for 2 months. And I was like, I'm 7 months pregnant. We should do it now. And he was like, I'm thinking about it. It's like, I'm 8 months pregnant. And then he calls and was like, I'm at the hospital, but I will be home in the afternoon, so I will do the offer then.
Got it. So you're definitely one to work very hard. Is that
I
what
do. Yeah. I've always worked hard. It's like
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
But do you take rest for yourself?
Vacations.
Yes.
I do. I travel abroad like 10 times a year.
So how on earth somebody's going to say, you sell 100 deals a year, have a baby in the middle, and travel the world? Is that possible?
Yes. It's because you have to have focus, and you have to have goals, and you have to have your why. So like this year, well, I was in San Diego like a couple of weeks ago. I was in Vegas for a conference in January. I went to Enrique Iglesias' concert in Oslo in March. I took my daughter for Lion King Theater in April. And then I believe I did nothing in May. Oh, sorry. I went to Berlin and London in May.
Oh, yeah,
sorry, I forgot. Yeah. Then I took the kids for a week to Denmark in June, went again in London in June, nothing in July. It was like a really bad month. And then in August, I went to Paris. In September, Barcelona, and then nothing in October. I have those months. And then I did San Diego, which I love. It's like my favorite city, in November, and then I'm doing Miami with some friends for Christmas.
Nice. So you're definitely well-traveled. You're definitely doing a lot in your real estate. And I think what you're, correct me if I'm wrong, but the general theme of, how do you sell X amount of houses? How do you do so much? How do you do all these different things? Is one, to have focus, and not just focus on your specific real estate task, but specific focus on your why, specific focus on your goals, and really not pushing those aside, in order to enhance your business. And I think what you're probably doing is setting the expectations pretty clear with your clients.
Yeah.
They know what to get from you. And no matter where you're at or what's happening, they still feel, which is phenomenal, that you're providing them with phenomenal service, which a lot of people are going to go, hey, those things are just very basic. Those things are cliche. I'm watching this episode because, I want her to tell me about some program I've never heard of, and I need to buy that because that's going to, help me.
I'm sorry, it doesn't exist. So basically, you have to have a really good focus. And I've lost focus more than once, Jason knows. And like last November to February this year, I went through some really personal drama that just threw me off the game, and I was really off. And I was just almost burnout. There was just some things you mess up your focus, which is not good.
And so how do you realign your focus? How did you realign yourself?
So what happened is the March Madness kicked me back. And I was like, I looked at it, it's like, oh, there's a competition. I'm like very competitive person. I was like, I'm just gonna win this competition. I'm just gonna kill it. And I'm gonna be a single mom from Iceland, like 49. I'm just gonna kick everybody's ass.
Nice.
So that was the plan, actually. I'm just gonna kill it. And with Jason and I looked at numbers like, okay, in January they had this competition. They were like 50, 60 meetings. So we should do 80, 90. So like, let's be 90 to be sure. But there were some people apparently that had the same plan. So there were always like 3, 4 people, always like, I log in my numbers, then this guy logs in like later because of the time difference. And I was like, okay. Then like 20th of March, I was like, I need to up my game. I need to go to 120 to be sure. And then I was like, I don't know, why not just do 150? It's a really cute round number. And yeah, so the basic plan was just do 150.
Got it. And so, and that just went back into, hey, I need to schedule this amount of appointments, so I have to work. I have to make calls. I know calls get me appointments. Yeah. I don't need to, search and scramble for all these things that I don't know how to do to incorporate into my business in one day. I just need to stick to the basics.
And when you do these crazy goals, you also call people that you've been postponing, like some clients that you're afraid of that will say no to you. And I was like, I need them. I need to call them. So out of those 150 appointments, like I would say probably 1 in 20 were sellers. I listed 32 properties out of those appointments. And I'm still listing, actually. So last month, October, I listed a $1 million house, my biggest listing in my career. Woo-hoo. And that was, thank you. And that was related because I listed his son. Well, I gave his son like appointment in March. They called me in the summer, said, well, we found a house we want to sell. So I sold the son's house and then I got the dad. So everything because we had the March Madness in. So how many appointments did you do, Jonathan, in March?
I actually didn't partake in the March Madness. I will be very candid with everybody here. But it definitely wasn't 150. Or I'd be on your show right now talking about how I scheduled 150.
Yeah. So the thing is, you can always ask people for help, and that's basically what I did. So first, I started calling everyone I knew that were thinking about selling. Everyone I knew were thinking of buying, and then I started giving everyone free estimates. So I basically called up and said, Jonathan, I'm doing this competition. It's international. It's me against America. So I need your help. Would you be interested to have a free estimate of your house? And it's like, everyone, of course. And we just said the interest rate is getting lower in Iceland, so it'd be a really good time for you to refinance. So I'll give you the price estimate, and if you need some documentation from me for refinancing, I'll give it to you. And there were like 5 people out of 150 that needed the paper. And so, but many people said, whoa, I didn't know my house would worth that much. So I'm basically going to sell and buy another one. So the prices had gone up like 40% in 2 years. So people did not know the value of their home. And then always when I was going, I said, if you know anyone that could help me win this competition, if you know anyone that would love to have a free estimate, thinking about selling, buying, just have them give me a call. And I got text messages like, my cousin, she would love to help you. And this one is really interested. So what you need to do is like find your enemy. Like, are you competing with this old guy in New York, or are you a young agent? Then you say, well, I'm this new agent. I would love to kick those asses. So I'm just saying, I want to show them I'm young, and even though I don't have the experience, I can outwin them. So you just find your enemy. So, I love you, but you are the enemy.
Find the enemy, find competition. And something that you said, which I preach all the time to a lot of people, is to let your clients or let your prospects or let your leads or whoever you want to call, let them know exactly what you're doing. Let them know, hey, this is why I'm doing it. Let them know what's going on, especially when it comes to something like this. Let's say that you want to schedule 150 appointments. Like you said, people are going to get behind you. People are going to rally for you. People are going to steer you in different directions. But a lot of agents are afraid. And I don't think that it's necessarily that they're afraid to necessarily ask. I think that they've just continued to only ask. Hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? Hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? Hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? And that's not working for them. So when it comes to the phone callings, you know, they haven't really provided much value, or they haven't really done much of anything for them. So yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to just pick up the phone and say, hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? Correct?
I know. And it was really like 15 years ago, it was so difficult to pick up the phone. And I remember, well, we hardly had cell phones. So I remember we had landlines, and no one in Iceland had caller ID. I mean, you had it in the States for decades, but we did not have that in Iceland. So I remember I was calling, like I had my first listing and I had one buyer showing, and I was trying to call her, just landline, and she was not picking up. And then finally she answers. She's like, are you insane or something? You've been calling this. I've seen your number like 5 or 6 times on the screen. So she just moved from America. So she had caller ID. No one else had it. So she was not thrilled. No.
Got it. So as far as just recapping, you've done 100 for anybody that's just popping on. Hey, Will, good to see you. There's a couple of more people. Simi, I see you. Kelly, I see you. Thank you for joining. Just a brief recap of what we talked about. You're selling over 100 units, and the way that you're doing it is by scheduling appointments. You realize that the only way that you're going to actually list the property is to get an appointment and get in front of somebody. And there's no fancy schmancy bells and whistles about it, other than make your phone calls, schedule your appointments, sell more houses, and then travel 10 countries per year. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically, because you're always busiest when you're going on vacation. So if you go on vacation once a month, you're like crazy busy. So you will have your focus. It's like, okay, I'm going abroad in one week. I need to call all these clients just to line them up and let them know that I'm going abroad for like a weekend or a week. And they just love it. And I don't work nights and I don't work weekends.
And so what you said was something that I've talked about in a previous episode on going to vacation. And one, it helps you out a lot because you have that vacation in your mind, and you're not necessarily checking out like, oh, I'm going on vacation.
Oh God, no.
What you're doing is you're ramping it up. Hey, I need to make extra calls. I need to get extra appointments. I need to do extra so that way I can reward myself. And you're letting your clients know like, hey, I'm going to X city or X country, and they like that. And love it. Again, it's just another thing that I don't understand why a lot of agents don't, I don't want to say advertise, but they don't talk about themselves. They don't talk about their lives. They don't talk about the place that they want to go with a lot of their clients. They just talk about buy or sell a house, buy or sell a house, buy or sell a house. And the majority of those people are going to go work with somebody else that are, they're more fascinated about their lives as well. And they're more fascinated about helping them outside of just buying or selling a house. They truly want to create a relationship. And once you're able to do that, like you said, you're not working nights, you're not working weekends anymore, but you're still able to do these things because you built that trust, and you're just providing great service. And there's no crazy thing in the world. Now, caveat, are there programs and stuff out there that can help you? Yeah, you named one of them, but you definitely don't need to rely on, swiping your credit card on one system and think that everything is just magically going to happen for you.
It will never, ever happen. So basically what you have to do, you have to wake up early, you have to be organized.
What time do you wake up?
4:30 a.m.
Nice. What time do you go to bed?
Around 10:30, 11.
Got
That's
it.
enough. Yeah.
How long did it take you to get used to that schedule?
I went to this Tom Ferry seminar in last year, and David Goggins was on. And he basically, I don't know what he did, but he just did something. So I went home, I woke up at 5. I was like, I need to get my things in order. So I've been doing massive improvements everywhere. I lost 50 pounds since, So now I'm trained twice a day. And I wake up at 4:30.
And you jumped in some cold water recently?
I did. It was 3 degrees Celsius. So the thing is, it's way more fun when you do things that you love. If you're doing real estate because you're in it to make money, it's no fun. It's just no.
And the grind is too hard, and you work too many hours,
God.
and you still don't make as much money as some people that make more money, and you're trying to realize what's the magic sauce? I need to swipe here, swipe here, swipe here, swipe here.
Yeah.
And what most top producers, not only ones that I've brought onto the show, but just ones that I know, are basically saying the exact same things as you, as focus on your why, focus on your goals, have a clear plan, stick to it.
Yeah.
And every time that you need just a little kick, start a competition, do something to just slightly get you out, to just get right back in it, to realign that focus.
It's so easy. Yeah.
I want to talk about some of the differences. But before we get to that, John said, what does organized look like for you? So since you're selling 100 houses per month.
Per month, I like that.
Oh, per year.
That'd be so good.
Wow, if you're doing that, I mean, we're definitely.
Yeah, but without any help, no assistant. I'm not sure if I would do any travels then.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So what does organized look like for you? Because you don't have this massive team. You don't have this massive brokerage. So when you say you're selling 100 sides, it's you. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I've sold 50 houses this year, and I have like 24 active listings. So that's 100 sites. So for me, it's just everything is in Excel sheets, all my numbers, and I have reminders for every client. And then what I do on Sundays, I plan my week, because if I don't plan my week, I don't know where I'm going. It's like, well, I'm going abroad. Where are you going? I don't know yet. I'm going to the airport. It's like, you have to know where you're going. So I just put on, okay, wake up 4:30. I have this activity. I have this work to do. Then I'm doing like 8 o'clock. The kids go to school, and then I'm at the office between 8 and 9. Then I do emails, I do Hour Power, or I have showing. So I always know when I come in the office what my plan is today. So when I arrive, I know the plan. Of course, it changes because someone calls us like, I want to list my home. It's not in the schedule. Of course, I'm going to change it. But for me, when I started doing this, planning the week on Sundays, it just gave me control of my life. Because usually I was just showing up and you're like, okay, what should I do? I'll do this, I do that. This is just a game changer.
So what you're saying is organized looks like making yourself organized by planning a schedule on Sunday.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Planning the week.
Taylor asked the question and said, what does your weekend look like? How many open houses are you doing per month?
So that's a really good question, Taylor, because in Iceland, we do 30 minutes open houses. So
Can we swap?
Yes. I get seriously, when I see you guys advertising open house 1 to 4 on Sunday, I get stressed. Because for me, it's like, it's family time. And I'm like, or hiking or going out for a run or just do nothing and stay in bed and read. And like, if no one shows up, what are you doing for 3 hours? And do you really need 3 hours? Seriously? Why do you have open houses for 3 hours? Is it because everyone does it?
So is that I like that. I like that comment. So you're thinking differently. John said that he's now moving to Iceland. So you have another prospect to
I have another client. Yeah, I can find your houses. The thing with 30-minute open houses is actually an idea from Australia. So when I was a Remax agent, we were at the conference. We had lunch. Me, guy from Australia, guy from Canada, and guy from the States. And the guy from Canada says, we do open houses for an hour. And I was like, yeah, we do too. And the guy from the States says, we do it for 2 hours. Sometimes no one shows up. I have a good book. And the guy from Australia says, we do it for 20 minutes. And I was like, that is so clever. But it was like 20 minutes, stressed me out. So I decided when I go home to Iceland, that was like 12 years ago, I'm going to do open houses for 30 minutes. And it took a lot of work to convince my clients that it's a good idea. It's like, Ásdís, 30 minutes is not enough time. And I was like, I know it's enough because they will show up on time. Because when you have an hour or two, they show up late. So If you have 2 hours, they just come. It's like 1 to 3. They come 2:45. Anyways, you have so much time to come. So when you have it for 30 minutes, and if you're interested, they show up at 1 at the open house. So if I decide to work on Sunday, I have like 6 open houses on Sunday. It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock.
And
6 open houses.
That's something similar to me talking about the mega open house strategy that I do. However, I'm not doing them for 30 minutes. I'll definitely say that. But what I will say is that I'm also doing the same thing is when I'm scheduling it, I'm scheduling it. If you're very interested in the property, you're going to be there. You're not going to see it before. I'm not going to wait 3 hours after because you're running late. If you truly, and I tell my clients this, the exact same thing. If they're truly interested in the property, they're going to be here. If they have some type of excuse after they've seen some images and video, they've got a pretty good grasp of what the house looks like. If they're truly interested, they're going to figure it out. And those are the people that you want, and you want them there at that one-time luck. So then that way, everybody else is also there seeing, wow, these are the other people that are interested in the property. Deborah said, love the Sunday idea, organize the week.
It's insane.
Simi said, which we've already covered, how many members are on your team? And I think people are going to continue to ask that, thinking that it's absolutely impossible, but you are a one-man band.
I am. I had an assistant, I had a marketing manager, and it just took so much time to manage those people. So I was like, that's not what I like. I do not like managing people. I love my clients. I love my real estate. So it's a brokerage. We are like 4 people here, 2 independent agents. So they just work for themselves and the lawyer.
John said that in New York City, people are visiting multiple places. So if you have it too short, you're going to miss a huge number of people. He likes the idea. He's going to try the shorter open houses. So I'm going to wrap it up with 2 things. First off, a couple of the differences, just so that way anybody that's popping on will know that you are in Iceland. There are some differences, but for the majority of things, it's pretty much work, have a plan, have focus. And when you think that things are too hard, you're probably just not working hard enough, or you're probably just scrambled and you're not focused. So really, clearly, have a plan, get focused on your why. One of the differences you talked about from the U.S. as opposed to Iceland was the open houses, which is 30 minutes as opposed to maybe 3, 4. I see people doing 5-hour open houses, which is
it's just
crazy.
Me.
They're doing them like every day of the week, which that's even more crazier.
I know.
And to add on to that, Chuck said people will make it a priority if they want to see it, or they will call to arrange.
I totally agree. So I always start a new listing with an open house, and usually during the week. So it's like 5:30 or 6:30. Often I do it at lunch, 12:15 to 12:45. And people calls like, I'm really interested in listing. I will be out of town. Can I come over? And I said, I'm sorry, but we are not showing it before. Okay, let's see if I can rearrange. So they can always rearrange. They're just lying. They're not going anywhere. They just want to see it before.
Deborah said that she shortened her open houses this year. She had a much better turnout as well. So maybe you're a trendsetter on the open houses.
I would love to see you shorten the open houses, because think about it. If you could run like 5 open houses on Sunday, then you can spend every 3rd Sunday with your family. If you have like 3 hours, you can run like 1 open house. Then what about the other listings? When the market's slowing down and you get almost 10 listings, you're carrying more listings than ever, when you're going to have all the open houses.
That's true. So wrapping things up here, you're doing phenomenal. You're working hard. You're putting your clients first. You have a clear plan. You're focused. You're not buying something super fancy. You're not doing all these crazy things out there. You're not, looking at the shiny object that falls in front of you and going in a different path. And when you start to slightly veer, you realign yourself and get clearly focused again. You're relaxing your mind, you're taking vacation, you're letting your clients know, you're setting the expectations. You've built and continue to build. What's one piece of advice that you would like to leave with somebody that's looking to up their game when it comes to appointments? You know, if somebody's on this and they're saying, well, I average maybe 5 appointments a month, how can I bump that up to, let's say, 20 or so?
You just have to call people. It's so easy. I mean, it's the number. It's like 40 calls, one client. So just call the people. I mean, if you don't know anyone, just call your friends. Like, hi, it's Jason. Just wondering, are you thinking about buying or selling? I can pop over. We could meet for a coffee. Just call them. Just make the list. And I mean, everybody knows 500 people.
What are your thoughts? Sorry, we're definitely going a little bit longer, but we have lots of questions coming in. Tons of people popping on. Cut me off if I'm running too long. What are your thoughts on people hiring somebody else to make their calls for them?
Well, I don't know. I thought about it, but if you're calling sellers, they don't have your, I mean, they don't have your charisma, they don't have your connections, and that's part of you. So if you hire someone to call for you, then it's going to be like flat, and I don't think you can connect. So maybe, I don't know how it works for you, but part of my success is because people feel comfortable when I'm talking to them. So you would have to, because it's not about booking appointments, it's about getting connected. And you can call them again. So I don't know, does not work for me.
Awesome. No, that's great. This was a phenomenal episode. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. The time is 5:37 p.m. in Iceland. So we definitely appreciate you rearranging your schedule for us.
It was so much fun to be here.
Thank you so much. For those that are still on, this has been Real Advice Real Estate episode number 7. We talked about how to schedule over 150 appointments per month. We also talked about some of the differences in the US and Iceland market. However, our guest, not only did she say it once, she said it multiple times. Have a clear focus, have a clear why, prioritize specific things, keep yourself organized, and don't worry about all of the chatter and all of the noise that's out there to distract you, out there to take your money, out there to do all these different things, when all you have to do to schedule the appointments is just call. If you have any questions, if you're watching this video, it's later in the week and we're no longer live, still leave your questions below. We'll definitely get to them at a later episode. Thank you for joining.